Hey everyone, what's up? It's Pro here, and today we're going to be doing a guide on animated lighting, kind of like how I did with the last video. We had the bar set up. Yeah, animated lighting. We're going to have NPCs that we interact with and everything like that and such. Now I am going to change the resolution for this because I want to see the entire bar and kind of use video editing to zoom into particular parts. So let's go ahead and do that now. Be right back. Okay, there we go. So this resolution here should display the entire thing. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be going over. Okay, so if you take a look at here, we can see there are two bartenders. That one over on the right is kind of just going up and down, talking to that one customer, doing some random job. The one over here that I'm circling with my mouse, this bartender here is going around talking to like 3 customers. And then she'll go in there and she'll kind of fade out as she goes inside. And you can see the lighting from the candle here. It's kind of glowing. Going to be going over that as well. Now, she just goes back and then she kind of repeats that process. We have some NPCs that are walking around. Those are normal NPCs that you already know how to do. But these little NPCs here, watch. Watch how they kind of just do an action. Like every once in a while. And they're at different timings. But that's actually intentional because otherwise it would look weird. You don't want them to be, all synchronized eating and everything. So basically, if we go down here, I know I'm on the bar. If we go down here, you can see we have these two over here having a conversation with random bubble pop-ups. They seem to really be in love right now. And yeah, so you see it right here. We have this design in the floor. This is actually an event, and if you take a look over here at the doors, you can see there's also some other design. This is actually another event. What we're going to be going over is things that I like to. I don't know if there's an actual term for them, but it's what I call them anyway. I call them event processors, which are events that process other events. And all the tiles that you see here are also done with the shadow pen tool or the like. So I'll be going over that as well. You may notice this checkered design wood over here. Well, that actually that wood tile, if we take a look at it, the real wood tile is this tile here. What we do though with the shadow pen tool, you can actually do any design you want. You can do this kind of design if you want, but yeah, we just take the shadow pen tool and we kind of just make checkerboards with it, or any other design that you want. You can do something completely unique, whatever you want. But what I did was I just kind of, for that particular design there, all I did was I just went from piece to piece, doing this and this, like this. There we go, yada yada. So yeah, it's pretty simple. Simple to do, and it looks nice in the end. Just beware of carpal tunnel. So what I did here was this tile here is actually a combination of tiles. If you see here, it's actually the tile underneath it is, which one was it? I think it was, where was it? This one right here. It's actually this tile, but I also did shift mapping with this shadow tile here. How I do that is you just select this right here, you hold shift, and then you paint. And then as you can see, while you're holding shift, it'll make the tile darker. From there, you can do the same pattern design if you wanted to. I'm not gonna, but you could. But yeah, just get creative with the tiles that you have access to, because even if you're using an amazing tile set, getting creative like this is obviously a good idea because it can open up possibilities that you didn't know were there. Next, now we're gonna go ahead and go over the event processors. It's important to name all of your lights. Like, for the example, the animated light here is actually just a graphic from the dungeon tile set. I think it's dungeon B. And it's just like that little light from the end of a cave, from like the opening of a cave. So, and it does nothing. It's just below the characters. It's just action, trigger, nothing. Nothing important with the actual event itself other than the name. You do want to make sure you name everything so you don't get confused. So, how I process the lights, you can leave comments in your code if you want. But each light is set to additive. You can change the opacity if you want to. It's all up to you. But each light is set to additive. With the blend mode. And how this works is, let me go over this real quick, I guess. I'm getting ahead of myself, sorry. So, I named this processor the light processor, and it's a parallel process. And as you can see, when That's all you really need from this part. And when you move the event, though, you want to make sure you're selecting the light that you have. You want to select the repeat movements, and you want to uncheck wait for completion. Anyway, we're going to change the opacity to 150 immediately. Then we're going to wait for 30 frames. This is that breathing time that it has. You can remove that if you want, but I chose to keep it. Then we're going to increase the opacity by 10, and then we're going to wait for 5 frames, and then keep doing it about 5 times. So waiting a total of about 25 frames to get to its brightest point. And then immediately after, we're going to fade it out by decreasing it back to 150. Again, about the same amount of time, 25, 30 frames. And then it's going to wait another... It's just going to repeat this part again. So it has like that breathing effect. Just be warned, though. We're using multiple event processors because RPG Maker MV does not like processing large parallel processes. Certain things will either not work or it won't work the way you want. It'll be kind of jank. So you are going to need to separate event processors if you have a lot of events to process. I recommend like one category each event. So we're doing the same thing for light number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the light. And at the end we use erase event. That's because this no longer needs to process after one point because the move routes are set to repeat. So they're going to repeat themselves without this event processing. You don't need to, continue to process this event if it's already done its job. So we're going to use erase event after that. That'll stop it from processing until you refresh the map. Now, the bartenders. So, for this, we're going to need the bartender, obviously. We're going to name the event. I usually use NPC types, and then like the type of an NPC, and then the number of that NPC type. This is the bartender 1. And then I use special events here. NPC normal number 2. See, I could have named this different. You should probably name it different. But these events are events that are going to have emote bubbles, as if they're talking to the bartenders. As you can see, they all have their own ID. It's kind of important, again, to name them differently. Anyway, so what we do is we have the bartender move to the person that they are going to talk to, and then they face that person, and then they wait for 60 frames, which is about 1 second. And then the bartender will show a balloon icon. They're gonna wait for 30 frames, and then the NPC will show the balloon icon. You can choose whichever balloon icons you want, and then we're just gonna repeat those processes. Like the bartender is gonna keep moving until they get to wherever they were. Now, for that fading effect, when they go into the door, all you have to do for that is for the bartender, you want to wait for 5 frames. Change opacity to 150, wait for 5 more frames, change it to 75, 5 more frames, then to 25, wait again, and then to 0. After that, you want to immediately turn the event down. Otherwise, when they fade back in, they'll still be facing the door, as if they're like walking backwards or out of it or something. From there, you can do wait for 120 frames, which is about 2 seconds, and then you can fade the event back in. You want to max it out at 255, because that's the fully visible character. So then I wait for 30 frames, and then I move her back into position here. You do not want to repeat action for this, so you do for the movements. So you are going to have this event processed at all times. You don't have to, because there's really no way of setting up repeat and then wait for all this to happen. No, you're doing other things besides set move routes, so you don't want to click on the repeat option. So you don't want to erase event either. Remember, though, that all the event processors are parallel processes. Now, for the other bartender, I have a separate event, but it's basically the same thing, same setup. But again, it doesn't like to process multiple things like that. So, the talking NPCs down here. These I named Type 2s. And you can actually comment if you want to tell what they do. This communicates with NPC Type 2 number. I actually made a little typo there, but oh well. But yeah, you can leave a comment if you want to tell yourself which event they're supposed to communicate with. And then they are processed first thing we do is we create a variable called emote bubble. And we set it to a random between 0 to whatever. In my case, 2. So we're going to do a conditional branch now, which can be found here. Conditional branch in the flow control. And we're going to check and see if emote bubble is equal to 0. And if it is, then the first NPC is going to show the silence icon. And if it's equal to 1, it'll show a different icon, like a music note. If it's equal to 2, it'll show a different one. So we're going to wait for 30 frames. That's the wait time, like their communication reply time stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing again, just copy and paste with that up top. But then we're going to change the balloon icon to show on the second event, NPC side 2, number 2. And then that's pretty much it. They'll just kind of talk to each other with random emote bubbles. And that leaves the possibility to talk to the event as well. Although you might need to set up a certain other conditional branch to make sure you're not talking to one of them. That way, when you start talking to them, they'll stop talking to each other, and yeah, they'll talk to you. So, the floor design. You may notice here we have an event. This is the door graphic. I named these types of events, floor designs. And what we're doing is basically just putting a graphic from something, and we're giving it a blend type. So this is a parallel process. You could actually use erase event here. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, not erase picture. Erase event. I don't know why I didn't do that, but you can. You can use erase event there. You should actually. Not just you can. You should use erase event after this. But basically, we're doing set move routes on the floor designs. We're setting their opacity to something, and then we're changing their blend mode to whatever you like. I chose multiply because that's what I feel like looks best for darker areas. Like if you're gonna like darken something, that's multiply is like the best way to do it. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It's actually pretty simple. So have fun playing around with that. So yeah, show me what you guys make if you want. Just make a video, upload it on YouTube, and share it in the comments if you want. Don't worry about it getting marked as spam or whatever automatically, because I'll likely just approve it anyways. So feel free to share your creations with event processors and whatnot. Alrighty then. So bye guys. Thanks for watching.